In this video, I'll be showing you how I turned an old action figure into the one and only Taskmaster, making his MCU debut in Marvel Studios' Black Widow, coming to theaters July 9. Before we begin this process, I just want to let you know that I already sanded this figure and prepped it for sculpting. This was originally a Snake Eyes figure from the G.I. Joe series that I turned into Daredevil from the Netflix series starring Charlie Cox, and now it's going to be Taskmaster. So I'm beginning here with the armor plating, so just adding the armor plating throughout, specifically on the chest right now, and that whole chest and that whole area has very specific design and details I'm trying to display here. It has the ab section, almost like feels real musculature, but it's just armor plating.
I'm trying to feel the alligator. I've lost somewhere in my head. I denied it all on my own. Holding tight to the pledge. I'm somewhere near the edge of wishing we never met. I'm scared of being without you. Afraid no one ever know me. I'm out near the edge, and I can't get us out of my head yet. Who I'm becoming, it's all I ever wanted. Never like me when you're sober, only like you when I'm lonely. Got me looking in the mirror for the self-diagnosis. Feel like they villainize me for they ever get to know me. They tell me that you need me, the action didn't show it, knowing that you play the angles.
So now I'm beginning to add an even coat on top of the shield of epoxy sculpt, and I'm using water to really smooth it down and get it nice and clean. And then I'm using this tool right here to really scrape off the edge to once again get it smooth. And it's more straight. I believe it's slightly curved, so that it gets that nice curvature on the shield. It also makes it nice and smooth. Now I'm beginning to engrave the details on the shield, so all the engraving, all the recesses on the shield. So there's that orange symbol that was on it. And now I'm beginning on the face. So just starting off with, again, just a flat piece of epoxy sculpt on the face, and then slowly cutting away where there wouldn't be no protruding pieces. So on the top of the head, kind of where the visor cuts off, I remove it. Then on the jaw, it's somewhat of a skull type design. So then sort of the cheekbone area, I removed that piece. You can see there, I actually removed the piece and I applied a more perfect circle for the discs on the ears. That goes to show that for when it comes to sculpting, sometimes it's better to add individual pieces in the correct shape rather than try to sculpt it all on the figure. It's better if you want to make a circle. It's easier to just add it afterwards instead of trying to cut it out from the clay that's already applied.
No escaping how I ride my wave and chasing Percy meals with no limitation. Carve a smile with their straight faces. Therapeutic, self-medicated. I've been doing fine for a low life. Seeing clear through the low lights. Straight gas for the stove light.
And now I did a little bit of a round of sanding here. Sanded the figure, sanded the shield, and now the face. And that's one of the most important things of sculpting in this scale. These figures are 3 3/4 inch, so they're 1/18 scale. And one of the most important things is to actually sand. Once it's completely hardened, like 24 hours, once it's completely hardened, the most important thing to do is to sand it, to get it nice and smooth, because that allows the sculpt to actually be clean and crisp, because it's somewhat difficult to do it with this clay that's very soft and malleable. It's not easy to get the surfaces, somewhat perfectly smooth. 2, straight. It's very difficult to get straight and flat. So that's the 2 main reasons why I would recommend to always sand the sculpt once it's hardened. And then once you're about to apply a new set of details, so say the face right here, I got the jaw and the all those details done, it's recommended to, you know, sand it. And in that instance, I would stay away from sanding that face, actually, because those details are, you know, they're more delicate, they're, you know, they're more small. So in that case, but when it's a bigger piece of, like, let's say armor, I would recommend to sand it to get it nice and flat. Or if, you know, it's somewhat of a curve to it, then, you know, sand it in a circular motion, like in a curved motion, to get that curvature on the armor. Throughout this figure, it's mainly adding armor pieces to it, because this figure is already, you know, has a tactical gear. It was a snake eye, so it has tactical gear all throughout. So the base figure was, you know, adequate for this type of, for Taskmaster. So I was just adding the armor plates on top of it, because it already had tactical, you know, the boots, the pants, all that. It was all, you know, somewhat similar to what the in-movie suit is.
So I can shoot for the stars. So I can shoot way up where the sound is. So I can shoot for the stars. So I can shoot for the stars. So I can shoot way up where the sound is. So I can shoot for the stars.
You so extra, but I know I'm the same. Yeah. Love me in spite of my trauma. Give me what I need.
So finishing off the head sculpt here, just adding the last bits of epoxy, making sure that there's a continuity. You know, make sure that it's all connected from the ear to the, you know, the back of the head, the middle line that goes all across from the middle to the back. Finishing off that, and then now I'm finishing off the backpack. So he has like a little backpack piece, and it just has simple lines and creases on it. And of course, I have not seen the film, so I don't know if it's a, you know, parachute or something like of that sort. And now adding a base coat of flat black paint. This is actually the Stynal Res paint, and I'll be linking in the description all the brands of paint that I'm using in this specific project. And going forward, I will be doing that too, including this, which is the Alclad glossy black paint. And like I've stated before, I like to use this as a base coat for any metallic finish. You know, like I'm adding the silver, and over it I'll be adding a transparent blue Alclad paint on it. And that adds that transparent, sort of like what you would see on a vehicle, where it's metallic undertone, but it's sort of a clear coat on top of it. And I will be most likely switching from this Alclad, the silver, to Molotov. It's a chrome paint. It's only used on a marker. You extract the actual paint that's in the marker and use it on the airbrush, and it actually leaves a very nice chrome finish. It's I believe it's a lot better than this finish actually. And something that I do want to point out, which is somewhat unfortunate, is that when I sprayed a clear coat on top of the Alclad paint once I was done with it, before I added the details, and it made it so that it was wet again. So like the Alclad paint was wet, and it sort of dripped, and the silver was no longer silver. It came like a grayish sort of gunmetal, but it lost all the shine. So going forward, if I do continue with this paint, and I will for like a couple of these upcoming figures that I have, I will not be using the clear coat.
Get bomb the way you dress and gone, flex and hold it still and let my mind digest. You got the leverage, you got the upper handle on the situation. You worthy of a million more of the storms that we weathered. We fight retreating, then fuck, but you trying to kill the cycle. When nobody stressing that body like me, I know the way you like it. I treat you like a queen, run the castle, you a treasure. Feel like you setting fire to my desire for the pleasure. You a gem, got me blameless, make amends, know you can, I'm out here.
Trying to control our emotions. If we on the right side of passion, we can share love in the ocean. But if you wanna go insane either way, baby, we could go on. We could go all night.
Now once again, using the glossy black paint, and actually on the bow I used the Steinor Res gray paint as a base coat, because that was, you know, it was, I didn't want to paint blue over black and do a bunch of coats. And now on the shield I'm just adding the silver Alclad paint. And as you can see here in a bit, I also sprayed it with the clear coat, and it also caused it to like turn like a gray, you know, a gunmetal color, so it lost all the shine. So once again, something that I will not be doing in the future. And then finishing off the orange insignia on the shield. And then something that I wanted to add on the shield which was seen on the trailer and on the SH Figure Arts figure, was these orange details that were on the bow. So that was already on this bow that had a line around, which was very, you know, very convenient. And then I also added a wire where the bow is, you know, where the drawstring, so that whenever I pose him, I can have him holding the string, and it makes it, you know, look like it's very dynamic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please consider subscribing for more content like this, and stick around for the final review.